American imperialism has many facets, but one of the lesser talked about and therefore most irritating ones is the imported Catholicism to its client/puppet states, aka South Korea. This is not to say that Korea before Christianity was a utopia. No, just like any other country in the world, Korea also suffered from some sort of religious ideology. But the import of Christianity definitely created a shift in how Koreans feel about different topics, such as modesty, relationships, gender, and sexuality. This might seem a little random at the moment right now, but if you've been following the reaction of some of these K-pop idols reacting to the assassination of Charlie, whatever his last name was, you'd see where I'm coming from. One thing that unites sunye, siwon, and a bunch of other Nugu idols who mourned his death is that all of them are hardcore Catholics. And when I say hardcore, I mean missionary and third world country/cultism hardcore. And this pretty much does explain their questionable behavior on social issues and such. After, but also way before, the US gained influence over the South and divided another people through a brutal and devastating war simply to hinder the development of socialism in Korea, lots of Christian missionaries arrived in the South to do what they do best, ideologically colonize. That is, they built churches, schools, and hospitals to grow their influence over the country, and it worked. The crazy thing about reading research papers on this topic is that they are mostly written by either American or Korean Catholics, so none of them will actually engage with this process of religious imposition in any critical way but portray it as something good. They'll talk about how Christian missionaries played a key role in developing Korea's education system and how they opened up chances of equality for women. And there honestly might be truth to it, but it is definitely an incomplete truth if one leaves out how much of the education system was also ideological imposition. Regardless, that's at least how a good chunk of K-pop idols are Christian. Siwon retweeted biblical tweets that declared homosexuality against God's nature. And when asked about playing the roles of sexually ambiguous characters, he replied,
"I will respectfully refuse any such offers. While I respect all genders, I do not wish to acknowledge homosexuals as I have been taught that God created man and woman with specific characteristics and duties. I realize that with globalization, there are many entertainers who do not share my views. There are those who are value-oriented and those who are success-oriented. However, shouldn't an actor deliver an image to his audience through roles he chooses to portray, based on his beliefs in life?"
The funny thing is that, just like any other brain-rotten religious fanatic, Siwon blames homosexuality as a result of globalization. If he used his remaining brain cells, he would come to the conclusion that his Christianity is a result of that quote-unquote globalization more than human sexuality and gender identity. I will have to mention that he did apologize for his remarks, but that actually does not make it any better. In fact, many Catholics seem to be very weak and backtracky with their blunt opinions. Sunye, just like Siwon, retracted her post mourning the death of right-wing extremist Charlie Kirk, which read, "Until his final moments on this earth, he shared his savior, Jesus Christ."
Do not trust her. She is a
Quickly, the Wonder Girls member was met with backlash. And she deleted her post, but not without defending herself first. She said, "After watching a video containing an appeal from Charlie Kirk's wife, I posted a memorial message with a heavy heart as a fellow person living as a mother." She continued, "A person has died." So, are you laughing with the mindset that it served them right about the death of a human life? Beyond my identity as a professional, mother, or woman, I mourned the tragic death of a person as a human being. Sorry for the upcoming whataboutism, which actually is not very whataboutistic if you think about it, but reading this, I genuinely had to laugh. So, she was just mourning a fellow believer, but when it came to the oldest church in the world and its followers being massacred in Gaza, she clearly kept her mouth shut. Then she did not care to mourn the death of fellow human beings. But it actually makes a lot of sense. Not only are American Christians and their followers in South Korea and Japan usually just a bunch of Christian Zionists, but there is also a long history of Western Christians thinking of Middle Eastern Christianity as a form of schism. A little bit of that is addressed in Norman Daniels' Islam in the West, but I'm sure you can find a lot more on that on the internet. 2. You are a bigot too if you call out double standards in terms of boycotting. I have seen lots of idols doing brand deals with companies that are on the BDS list. Disappointed but not surprised, since it just proves my personal theory that all celebrities carry a bit of narcissism in them. But what almost bothers me more about it is how fans react to such brand deals. When Mark did his McDonald's collaboration, he was rightfully called out for it. A few days after, BTS did a collaboration with McDonald's and the comments were filled with Mark enthusiasts calling out supposed double standards because they seemingly did not see much objection to BTS collaboration. This also applies vice versa. Under Mark's controversy, you had people comment that nobody reacted as harshly as people did with V's Coca-Cola ambassadorship. And my question to you guys is, are you okay? How is that of any matter at the moment? Like, genuinely. You see any idol doing a brand deal with a genocide-supporting brand, you either call it out or you keep your stupid mouth shut. It is as simple as that. This is clearly not the place to call out any double standards. Where are even your priorities? These issues aren't your petty fan war material. Some things are bigger than that. It doesn't matter whether you are 15 or 31. And honestly, there might even be double standards involved, but genuinely, who gives a fuck? 3. I need you to stop sharing fan cams of enlisted idols dancing to girl group choreographies or any other content such like, it is military propaganda. 4. Chinese idols have every right to oppose Taiwanese independence after British and American aggression. It has less to do with nationalism and more with anti-imperialism. Plus, you're xenophobic. 5. Implants are not empowering, nor are any other forms of cosmetic surgery. See, the thing is, maybe I'd get a few things quote-unquote fixed too if I had the money to do so, but never in my life would I ever pretend that any cosmetic procedure is in any shape, way, or form empowering. The thing about liberals is that they look at things from a reformist mindset. To them, the world obviously cannot be changed, so instead, they'll reinterpret anything reactionary as empowering. So, wage labor, plastic surgery all become empowering if you consider it so. The main argument usually tends to be that as long as it is making you feel more confident, it serves you and is therefore empowering. Thinking beyond the surface is not a liberal strength, but let me ask some counter questions to this. How many people in general are happier after a surgery than before? What beauty ideals is a person who is undergoing a cosmetic surgery trying to follow? If a surgery is empowering, why are faces and bodies reshaped in a way away from ethnic features and more to conform with conventional beauty ideals? As in, why does a person with a big nose want to have a smaller nose and why is it never the other way around? What are the roots for the beauty standards? Who and what institutions and actors are pushing these beauty ideals, through which means and for which reasons? But if it really was about women's agency, people would restructure their faces in ways so they moved away from conventionalized beauty ideals and not conform to them. Beauty ideals that are created by industries who profit off of the insecurity of millions and whose ideals are either rooted in colonialism, classism, or if not all.